Wanted to show you like an upgraded version of the Tsunami build that everyone's been playing and that I came out with about a week or two ago. And the teams that Tsunami Enchanter has the biggest trouble with is this Blue Marconite and Psion. So I've added 5 Earth units and it's going to help us beat these teams. So I'll show you that now. Usually with the classic Tsunami Enchanter build, we just go the 3 water bulwarks and then we go into 5 bulwarks and you have the Tsunami Enchanter. But against the Phosphorus, the meta has kind of established is that Earth does really well into it. Now I can explain why, but round 1 we are just playing the Gorilla, the Volante, and the Grocco. We don't win round 1, so you can kind of play whatever, but that would be your round 1. That'll give you the 3 Earth. Round 2, we are going towards the 5 Earth, 3 Bulwark. 5 Earth is what does really well against these auto attackers, so the Phosphorus and the Ferriox. 5 Earth gives Grit and Resolve, which does a flat reduced damage, so you can imagine that would do well against auto attacks. Not so well against large bursts of damage, like an Invoker or like a Rhamphyre. That is when you would want more Bulwark, so the resistance, physical and energy resistance, which does a percentage reduced damage rather than a flat damage. So this has been working really well against Phosphorus. And there's other teams out there that utilize this 5 Earth to counter the Phosphorus, and we've just thrown that in this team. And I will show you a game against Psion, 7 Psion, which also usually beats Tsunami. So round 3 we still want to go into Tsunami Enchanter. So we did get our bonded our Ranger to the Flood, giving us Tsunami and Enchanter, and then the second Enchanter comes from the Colossus, and then the next round we can get our 3rd Tsunami. So ideally I want my Flood catching the Lallura that will eventually come down, so I won't necessarily have to move my Flood, but I can just move my Ranger away from wherever the Lallura is. Alright, round 4, gonna place the Axodon down, so let's just get some more energy regen, and we've got the Gauntlet down. And I'm just gonna move my Ranger to the right to try to dodge his Lallura, which he hasn't placed down yet. And this is decent by him. I still would probably go immune if I was him, because if I get 1 stun off, that's going to be huge. And this is what you want to go, the Omega power, to try to get through, because you just want his Omega doing a lot more damage, because it won't be affected by Resolve, by the Grit and Resolve as much. So he did decide to just go the Augments instead of the Lallura. But either way, if he went the Lallura, it's not going to help him because he'd be doing less damage anyway, because he wouldn't have the funds to do these augments. So I'm just going to switch my Ranger back, see if he predicts it. And let's just make our Axodon a bit more tanky and give us more energy regen. That's good, so we dodged his Lallura. So I will link this team down below, so you can click on that and it will import it straight to your team builder, and you can start using it. And if you appreciate that, make sure to like and subscribe, and definitely ask me anything down below if you have any questions. But if you're not just copying this build, you can just still take the concept to your own team builds that you're building, where you have these 2 teams in one. If you're having trouble with a certain team, you know, like Phosphorus, see if there's a way to add in maybe a 5 Earth option into your build. Similarly, if you're having trouble with like a Psion casters, see if there's a way just to add a Rhamphyre and a Fire Psion augment to your Ranger. The other build that Enchanter Tsunami has trouble with is Psion, and we're up against a Psion here. Probably a Smurf given his name and the PFP. Usually it's heavily in favour of the Psion, the Enchanter Tsunami matchup. So I'll show you how this 5 Earth helps. We're not going towards 5 Earth, but you'll see where it ends up. It's mostly these rogues that are going to help us out, as well as we'll eventually get a couple other things that I'll explain as we go. Yeah, the opener is just going to be the 2 rogues. This gives us 3 Earth with the Grocco at the front. And we're usually just trying to snipe out one of the fleshes round 1, because we're not going to beat this Colossus Toxic. So round 2 we'll bring out the Flood. We're having him as a decoy here, bond him to the Ranger, and then we'll get the Cuculus out like we do normally. Now no matter where you put this here, he's almost certainly going to wrap around to the front line here. So I'm just going to put him there anyway. The only way he won't is if the opponent puts something that's not flush with the backline. if that makes sense. So if anything kind of comes up here, there's a chance that one of your front line will path towards that. Otherwise, it's always going to wrap around here. At least that's what I haven't found a way to have them not wrap around to the front line here. And you can see how well those rogues work already. Usually, if you don't have the flood here, the flishes will just shoot across here and nuke the rogues. So the flood is already doing a lot of work. And I'll talk about the ranger positioning here as well. Usually I found this is a really good spot. Sometimes they'll place the lynxes, like potentially if he places a lynx over here, it'll target here and maybe shoot across. So you do have to be a little bit careful, but against really good Scion players like Hepon, you will usually find a way to be able to target your ranger no matter where you are. So you're just trying to minimize that, and well, if you can, avoid it completely. So right here is quite good, but the Alfie is probably going to target him. So may need to put him in the front line here. I'm just worried about the lynxes will start targeting him. So maybe I go a little bit to the right here. I'm just worried that puts him at being the furthest away from this flish. But either way, let's get down to round 3, which is just going to be the Gauntlet and the Axodon. So let's see how the Ranger goes here. Yeah, should be good from this Lynx. Yeah, I'm just worried I might be the furthest target from this flish, but we'll see. Sometimes it might seem like you are. Yeah, okay. I don't know whether I'm bad at geometry or whatever, but to me it seems like that's further away than here. Alright, round 4, we want the more bulwarks, the 2 air bulwarks we have in the team. And that'll give us 3 bulwark. We've already got the 3 earth, so we're going to be quite tanky against both the lynxes and the damage over time from the flishes. And then we've got the 3 air to delay their first Omega. And we just want the armor down on the ranger. I have myself kind of here because the lynx will be shooting this way, and I should be safe from the Alfie. Hopefully the lynx just shoots through here. Okay, the Alfie's auto attacking me, but that's fine. Yeah, just out of range of everything. Very nice. Cool. And that goes a lot better. So once we get our suppressors down as well, this is going to be game over. So let's just start getting the suppressors down. Actually going to put down this gain 20 energy at the start of combat. That just means my ranger is now insta-casting. And obviously it helps everyone else cast early, but that insta-cast can just give you that a pretty significant advantage. And let's just get Indomitable down on the flood because he's going to be tanking. It just allows him to tank maybe one more Omega from everyone. See what he does here. Maybe he puts his ranger here. But let's see if he... I don't think it'll really matter if it's stuck on my ranger. I'm still just more worried about... there he goes, nice. Yeah, so he's definitely... I mean, it's probably a smurf because he did that. So now his lynxes are going to be shooting straight through my ranger, most likely. Oh no, they're probably going to shoot this way. But at least it was a decent try. Yeah, my ranger's still safe. Yeah. So this is definitely working better for him. And you can see my Indomitable, yeah, tanked another Omega from the flish. And that should be the round, maybe the game. That was a good effort by him. But you can see there how well the 2 rogues gets you through. Oh. I was going to say you can see how well these 2 rogues get you through to these final rounds, and then just this combination of the 3 earth, 3 air, 3 bulwark, access to the backline with the rogues, and then the obviously Tsunami Enchanter is just so good at the moment. Let's give ourselves more energy. Let's go leech energy from the Axodon. Rangers still in a decent spot. They often have the flexibility to put a Rhamphyre down, and sometimes they do that this round. So my ranger's still in a good spot for that. I don't think he has a Rhamphyre. I think anywhere he's over here, he's probably going to be targeting these, so his lynxes aren't going to be shooting me. If he's over here, he might swap to this side, but I don't think I can afford to move to try to predict that. I think I'm still okay here. So this lynx might clip my ranger. I think I'll be fine. His ranger did a decent amount of damage. So the other thing you can put on with the ranger, and I have this in for if I'm versing a Grilla, because Grilla targets the lowest physical energy, physical resistance. So this cybernetic plating, I still get the energy regen, but I've got more grit resolve and more resistance. So he won't be targeted by the Gorilla, but it could be an option in this team as well against Scion. So if you're wanting to counter this build and you're finding you're coming up against a lot of Tsunami Enchanter and maybe you don't want to play mirror matchup, I'll link a video here for the counter to this. This is going to be 7 Air Tempest, and you can click on that. The team builder for that will be down below as well. So both these teams you can try, whether you want to play this Tsunami Enchanter or try counter it with the 7 Air. It's quite a good build anyway, so that'll be linked, and if you appreciate that, make sure to like and subscribe.